to every corner of the galaxy. Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Hey Commanders, this is Mick from Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a hysterical ordering mishap and not reading the fine print, I'm currently in possession of over 10,000 snakes, many of which are deadly, so everything must go. We have anacondas, asps, cobras, diamondbacks, floatlants, keelback, kraits, mambas, pythons, sidewinders and vipers, none of which are capable of spaceflight without being strapped to a rocket. Need a pet for your cockpit? Buy a snake. Need to scare your mother-in-law and give her a heart attack for the insurance money? Buy a snake. Need to fill a beluga full of snakes to assassinate a witness on their way to a Federation courthouse? Buy many snakes. Bulk discounts are available at Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. You can find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us at the former site of Sensible Michael's Shipyard and Outfitting Warehouse. Will somebody get these mother snakes out of my mother warehouse?
Have you been missold PPI? Python Protection Insurance was missold if you didn't want it, ask for it, or need it.
I was missold Python Protection Insurance and I got a claim worth 3,000 credits.
At Cowell & McGrath, we are ready to pursue claims for pilots who were sold PPI, even though they didn't have an escape pod.
When my partner's ship was destroyed, the insurance became invalid. I settled out of court for enough credits to restart my narcotics and weapons shipping business.
Millions have been missold Python Protection Insurance they can never claim, simply because they don't have an escape pod. Why should you pay for not reading the small print?
My husband was missold PPI. As a result of our claim, we now own Jupiter.
Cowell & McGrath, turning your carelessness into profitable lawsuits.
Get ready. Lave Radio.
stars, watch them fly to the hills. We are free for the first time. Let's start this odyssey. Brave steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see this future. Let's make this odyssey. Frontiers for us to see. Vistas so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future on this odyssey. Touchdown, this place is bubbling. Watch them run, watch them fly, have a drink, start a fire, climb a ship, see the size for the first time. Touchdown, we are greeting. See the look in their eyes on my highway, supplies of a fight for their lives. Yeah, we are meeting. Let's start this odyssey. Brave steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see this future. Let's make this odyssey. Frontiers for us to see. Vistas so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future. Bullets fall like burning chaff. The celebration turns to violence. Laser fire makes shields go blue. Explosions fill my ringing ears. Humanity has come to stay. With all our faults, fears and anger. Joyous in this wondrous fall. Oh, let me slip away. Let's start this odyssey. Brave steps in front of me. My eyes so wide to see this future. Let's make this odyssey. Frontiers for us to see. Vistas so wide, this is the future. Embrace the future.
From the creators of luggage limpets and passenger lounge suitcase shuttles comes the latest revolution in passenger transportation, the passenger cannon. For centuries, circus performers have perfected the technique of being fired from a cannon. Paired with our new memory gel passenger pod impact absorption technology, you too can speed up disembarkation times from your liner by up to 250%. No longer be limited by pad sizes and excessive docking fees with the passenger cannon. But how does it all work? First, all passengers will be issued with a passenger pod inflation suit during transit. On approach to your passenger's destination, simply fill the inflation suit with our patented impact-absorbing memory gel. Then, once in a stable position in proximity to the destination, effortlessly slide them into the disembarkation chamber ready for launch. The passenger cannon is now available in both gimbaled and turreted varieties to make aiming elementary. Make your liner one of the top 1% in the galaxy. Buy a passenger cannon today. Warning, passenger cannon must not be operated on high-gravity planets or near geysers.
Welcome to the bubble. 55,000 stars with 19,000 inhabited systems, settlements, outposts, stations and bases. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Well, we can take you there. If you're too poor to own a spaceship, Apex Interstellar. What are you waiting for? No, is this thing finished? Get out of my way.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry, from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
Community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place?
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 450 of Lave Radio, the show about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Psychic, also known as Claire Good, also known as, what am I? Staff Liaison Officer, is that what it is? And joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode are our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
Hello, I'm drinking a Moretti and it made me really grumpy last week. Let's find out what happens tonight.
I'm so confused about that reference. Maybe I did really check out last week. We also have our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Aid Levice, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward. Let's call him his full name. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't drink any Moretti, but I'm thinking I need to check it out. And maybe that could explain why my arm is all numb.
We have a Colin joining us
at some point.
Who is currently waylaid, and I'm sure he will catch up with us very soon. Yeah, that's us here. If you wish, you can join us live. I think the lovely Chris Mark 4 is hanging out in game somewhere. Hi, Chris.
Hi, I am in Lave Station. I'm currently propping up the bar at our usual table.
Fantastic. Good. Fantastic.
My limbs are as wonky as Captain Pike's are. It's a reference you won't get.
It's a reference I won't get because we've just discussed that I've not watched anything.
Because you've not been watching Strange New Worlds, yes.
If you can't get in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live and clicking on live chat and on twitch.tv/laveradio. There are other places where you can hear it. I'm not going to list them there. You're smart enough to find them yourselves. Folks, how are you all doing? It's been a week, one might say. Let's start with Ben. How are you getting on?
So, being serious, I mean, I think my arm is slightly less wonky than it was.
Has your arm got a hangover yet?
No, but it's maybe only. It's not right. I mean, so as a silly thing, I was trying to use my joystick the other day, and it's got a push-pull trigger, and I can't push that trigger.
Oh, crikey!
Yeah. You know, usually I can just push it and usually I can push it and it's fine. And I can't push that trigger at all. Yes, Nephilius, I use my joystick too much and my arm is now dumb. I gave my son a big laugh over the weekend actually. I was just emptying the Hoover into the rubbish bin, and I was trying to get the fluff out of the Dyson and into the bin, and I was trying to shake it. And one side of the bin was going up and down like it should, and the other side was just like.
Oh, crikey!
My son was just looking at me and then, what the fuck are you doing?
It really the worst thing, honestly, I will tell you right now, the worst thing with any sort of injury like that, where you're so used to doing something and then you find the one thing that doesn't work, or like you start to find things that are just such so easy to you and then it doesn't work. It's like the most soul destroying thing. So I genuinely do feel for you at this moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And at the moment, I'm in firm belief everything will be fine and it'll all get back to normal. I was recommended by my local. Oh God, this is another one. So I was trying to pack my carrier bag when I was at my local shop the other day, and the guy was just like, "Would you like a hand with that?" I was like, "Yes, I think I would actually." And then he was like, "What you done?" And I explained, and he was like, "Right, I've got something for you." And he sort of dragged me out to it's a greengrocer, so he dragged me out to where all the veggies and stuff, and like, right, go make yourself some turmeric tea. So get some milk, heat it up, add in some turmeric, add in some honey, drink that, and come back to me in 4 days. So I was like, what the hell? I'll try it.
How have you found it? Because turmeric didn't work for me at all.
Well, I find it quite tasty.
I mean, there's the plus right there.
Yeah, it's actually quite a pleasant drink. And I think if I added some ginger to it as well, that'd be even nicer. Yeah, Twinings, turmeric and ginger. That I like Twinings tea.
Cool.
So so I'm enjoying drinking it. And I guess I could say since I've been drinking it, since I've only had what day are we on? We're doing Tuesday, aren't we? I should know that.
Live Radio. This is the day that Live Radio goes out.
I've had it for 2 nights, and I can feel things slightly better.
Okay.
I'm not willing to attribute that to turmeric, but
confirmation bias. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, who knows?
Yeah, may as well keep at it. It's not hurting you. That's that for sure.
Yeah, it's not hurting me, and it's nice. It's a nice drink before bed.
Anything non-arm centric?
I got some free bubble tea the other day.
Okay, great. So tea centric still. We're still on tea.
Yeah, not arms, not bubbles.
Yeah, well,
Ben's week has basically been numbness and tea.
I can't play video games at the moment.
Oh man.
So I can't do any of my normal stuff. So I've been getting my space fixed by watching The Expanse.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's kind of yeah,
kind of it.
That's kind of my life.
Damn.
I mean, there's worse.
Yeah, there is worse.
Alec, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. I am doing all right. What have I been up to? Yeah, I went to see Oppenheimer on Saturday. Doing quite well with my cinema recently. Saw the new Mission Impossible. Saw the new Indiana Jones. Yeah, so Oppenheimer was this week's film. It's long. It's Chris Nolan. I mean, it's unmistakably a Chris Nolan film.
Does it combine well with Barbie?
I don't get this. I don't understand this thing. What is this thing of combining Oppenheimer and Barbie?
It's
Why are
marketing.
they remotely?
It's marketing because obviously they can't use the actors at the moment because all of the performers are rightly so on strike alongside their writing their writing buddies. So it's kind of genius that they've also got this other thing to fall back on with that.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I mean, actually, when I went to see Oppenheimer, it was pretty obvious that the cinema was mostly full of people there to see Barbie. But yeah, it's good. I learned a lot about Oppenheimer, I guess. It's very good. I've got lots of words to describe the film, but which all sound very sort of negative. Like it's very thorough. It's very rigorous. It's loud. It's short on fun, but I would argue that all Chris Nolan films are short on fun. They're good, but they're not necessarily
It's a
fun.
historical drama-ish about about an atom bomb. I'm not expecting half a minute.
Yeah, it's actually a sort of nested court case. It's I mean the atom bomb is obviously in it, but in some ways it's not the focus. The focus is Oppenheimer and his security clearance and his opinions on his attempts to be on a sort of nuclear advisory commission after the bomb and being rather unceremoniously taken off that commission. And yeah, it's interesting. There's lots of good stuff in it. It is 3 hours long, which is a lot. What else? That's by the by. I got my ED HUD mod set up absolutely beautifully now. I said I'd been doing too much.
Oh,
tinkering.
amazing! Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy with it now. I'm really happy with it. It's all lovely. All my icons are a really nice color, and I discovered one. Because what I did is I took somebody else's theme and then tinkered with it, and I hadn't been down in a ship skimming over a planet's surface until today. And when you skim quite low, there's like the little map at the bottom turns into a little 3D map. That is this gorgeous, warm, sort of reddy orange color, which I hadn't seen before. It was lovely. So yeah, very happy with that. I've stopped tinkering. I am now tinkering with my Quest 2, which is fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good bit of kit. Very happy with my Kiwi cable, which I use to plug it in and finally play Elite, which is looking amazeballs. It's been a long time since I've played Elite in VR, actually. And the Quest 2 is a few notches up on the fidelity scale from the old CV1, so it looks incredible. I do need to tinker with settings again because it's very stuttery.
Okay.
Basically because I'm using the same graphic settings that I'm using in 2D, and I need to wind them down. But what I'm really pleased about is I haven't played in VR since Odyssey, and my PC is hardly cutting edge these days. I've got a 1080 graphics card and an i5 CPU. So I'd sort of fully expected Odyssey not to run at all in VR. Certainly, if you believe the rumors. And it's all right. I do need to wind some stuff down, but it's it's good.
I find that wild that you're using a 1080 and it's still working.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's stuttery, but I'm using all my high stroke ultra settings that I'm using on my screen. So I will need to wind those down for VR, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I haven't done any on-foot stuff. I'm flying around in a spaceship, so maybe that will not be so good. But anyway, on-foot's in 2D anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
bought a couple of other things. I bought this really nice Geek VR head strap, which I'm loving. I bought. I did cock up slightly because the new headsets, VR headsets, tend not to have headphones. They have like a little hidden speaker in the headband, I suppose, which you can hear because it's close to you. And I thought that sounded a bit crap, so I'd got myself all set up to plug in my headphones with a little tiny cable. And I ballsed up on two fronts. So I got this really nice little short cable for headphones, right, which was about 6 inches long. So it'll just go from the socket on the headphone, on the VR headset to my headphones. But surprise number one is that the my headphone socket on my headphones is on the right hand side, and the socket on the VR headset's on the left hand side. So the cable wasn't long enough.
Oh no.
And the other thing that's really annoying is I have these quite nice AKG headphones, which look for all the world like they have a 2.5mm headphone socket, except what AKG have done is made it something stupid like 2.51 millimeters. So it's non-standard and the pop thing doesn't fit. But never mind, the built-in speakers are absolutely fine. What else? I bought Beat Saber. I said I'd have to buy it again. I bought it again. It's fantastic. Oh, and another myth buster. People say standalone Beat Saber in the Quest 2 isn't as good as if you run it on your PC. I can't tell the difference graphically. It's absolutely fine if anyone was worried about that.
Cool.
Oh, one last thing. My old Oculus CV1 is all boxed up in its original beautiful packaging, along with 2 base stations and the handsets and some other stuff, and it's all going to be in the ECM raffle.
Amazing. That's incredible. I saw that earlier.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool stuff. Amazing. Brilliant. Fantastic. Loads of proceeds going to special effect. You love to see it. And hearing dogs. Okay, what have I been up to this week? Gaming. My back's an awful lot better than it was, which is nice. It's not 100% there, but it's getting there. So I'm secretly really pleased with that, being really tentative. I don't want to jinx anything or anything along those lines. I've been doing bits and pieces in Elite, sort of getting reaccustomed with the BGS a little bit, which has been really nice because it's not something that I've really touched for a couple of years or so, and being able to like get a little bit more stuck in's been a bit of fun. Watched a dull Grand Prix apart from the very beginning and sort of like the very end. That's about it, really. Oh, today we had to take Artie to the vet because I was giving Artie some cuddles last night and I felt a lump on his back and I got really scared. Like crazy scared. Tried to like wind it in a little bit so I wouldn't make my husband super scared, but wound it in a little tiny bit, and then husband had been Googling stuff that might be a problem and all of those kind of things.
As we do.
As you do, like, and I'd also been Googling stuff and I was like, nah, it's fine, like refusing to believe anything. Really scared, got to the vet with him this morning, and the doctor gave it a little squeeze and the head popped and it was a spot, basically. But it was a proper little lump.
How does it?
Well, it was like an ingrown hair, effectively, because he's a cockapoo, so it's really really close hairs and compacted hairs and all of that stuff, and that just happened. So he's got the groomer in 2 days and he's got to go to the groomer with like this little square inch patch of bold fur on his back that we're currently in the process of having been told every 2 hours we have to clean it with salt water, and if it needs expressing, express it, which is a joyous moment. But
you get people who pay good money for
I know
spot squeezers.
I know, like even the receptionist, I was just like, it was like one of those videos that you see, one of those YouTube videos. But he's fine. He's a little bit grumpy about it because we keep like making him stand up and do things. But that's about it. And I just like I'm glad that we went to the vet. I'm not glad that we had to spend the money for the consultation, literally just for him to pop a spot. But for my peace of mind and for our peace of mind, it was a lot better. Hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Colin. How's your week been?
How's my week been? Stressful, but you know what it's like when you come back off holiday. It just it's so difficult to try and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of Elite time. Got back into doing Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. Started the campaign right from scratch again. Don't know why I do that. I do that with a lot of games. I sort of I get so far, about 90% of the way through, leave it for a couple of months, and then go back going, I can't remember how to play this game properly. Oh, well, I'll just wipe my save and start from beginning. I'm not going to do that with Elite Dangerous.
People talk about it.
Loads of people do it. I've heard loads of people going like, oh yeah, I just reset my save because I got bored. I'm like, oh my god, that engineering, all of those materials, all of those ships that I have.
I don't know, but I think we might have a show title as well, starting from scratch again.
Yeah, well, you know what I do when I get that itch? I actually go out and buy another account.
That's the thing. I would rather do that than
wait for a Steam sale. Bang.
Yeah. I'd like have a series of backup accounts just in case I get that itch, because absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I could reset my a couple of commanders quite happily, but my main account, no.
Oh, for
In
sure.
fact, my first 2 accounts actually not a chance of now. Those are permanent people.
I think the one that I fly all the time and the one in Colonia definitely will not get touched at all in the slightest. But I could probably get away with. I've reset a couple before, but only because I'd maybe played like 2 hours of it and thought, oh, let's try a different thing starting from the front and try some kind of rags to riches nonsense, or like I've got somewhere it's something I want to film that's in the starting area. I've got an account that can do that now, Okay.
Yeah. Do we still have a starting area, or is that
Wasn't
that
that
removed for a bit?
We do still have a starting area, but I believe there is still an issue at the moment where if you log in, when you log in and you do the Odyssey stuff, it lands you at a system that's
takes you
outside
out
the
of the
starting
area,
area,
yeah.
and I'm not sure whether or not you can fly back in. I personally haven't tested it yet. I'd need to double check
to
that.
start your commander again.
Yeah, as
Well,
long
I've
as you're
got
actually
one.
harmless. As long as you're
Yeah.
harmless, all 3 harmlesses, if you like, then yeah, you can flip in there left, right, and center. As soon
Yeah.
as you move to mostly harmless in any rank, you can't get back in.
Yeah, if you've ranked her, and that's only the case if you stop at a station outside of there as well. So if you stop at a station outside of the starting area, this is to my knowledge. If you land somewhere and you're a higher rank, then you can't get back in, but you can sort of like fly around outside it and stop back at the stations in the starting area, and you're still okay. That's how the fuel rats were doing it in their with their when the Epic store had the free Epic. That's how they were doing it. So as long as you didn't land at a station outside of that starting area, you could still nip back in, even if your rank was higher. But as soon as you landed at a station outside of that starting area, then you were fucked. And
How
I think
did people manage to run out of fuel in the starting area? It's only
Because
about 8 systems.
because some of them were did some flying around the starting area and then just jumped out and didn't have anything.
Right. Okay.
There were loads. Like there were loads just sort of like when I started doing it just during the Epic thing, because the rats were floundering somewhat with the sheer quantity of requests, and it was they'd get like maybe one thing outside of the bubble, or outside of the, not the bubble, outside of the starter area, and be like, oh, I'm fucked, I can't do anything. And we'd be mostly either people who had starter fuel rat ships were flying just out of that starting area and refueling them, or like there were a bunch of us just like loitering outside the starter area waiting for people to come. Oh, and I've just seen Commander Terakov in chat saying that they do rescues in the starter area less frequently, since players now rarely start there, but there are rescues in there, so it does still happen.
That means the rats will have to have some harmless commanders to go back in there.
Well, no, they just don't need to land at a station outside of the starter area.
Good point.
That's all they need to do. Okay, right. Let's go to development news. What have the devs said this week? It's a dev week. It's a dev full week. Woo! We had, well, I say it's a dev full week. We had our Frameshift Live 32 this week. Did you all watch it?
Yes. I'll
Yeah.
catch up.
I did watch it, and I enjoyed it for what it was.
For what it was.
That's
what it was
damning
being,
faint praise.
Just such an accurate phrase. I enjoyed it for what it was as well. But to have 3. I'm gonna be the desolate Desmond right now and say to have 3 devs on and not talk devs and not talk a lot of dev stuff was really frustrating to me.
No, I liked it. I don't normally it would make me cross, but it didn't. I really liked it. I don't know why. I think because I I really didn't expect much anyway because it's just before an update and the devs come. We've already seen it when they had was it Alex or somebody on before? Just before the update, he wasn't allowed to blooming say anything.
Yeah,
So
I suppose.
so I was like, oh, this is good because they've found a way around the not being able to say anything thing. They can just all do a jolly quiz together. And I really liked the second round. Was it the guess the question round? Because it was a neat way of revealing some pretty amazing stats about the game. Actually, I thought.
Fair enough.
I don't know why.
Fair
I liked
enough.
it.
Okay, so we've got some. I didn't write these notes, so you're gonna have to bear with me on these. Update 16 we've got scheduled for July the 31st, which is Monday.
Crikey.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There's also a note which says redacted stuff. Go explore.
So outside there's stuff, maybe stuff. Can't tell you what, and then he kind of mumbled, "Go look for it."
Yeah, he did.
So I'm jumping around a little tiny bit right now, but was that just in relation to the Galnet news article that went out literally as Friendship Life started, or was it just a more general thing? I can't remember it.
No, it was I think that was the you know how Frontier go off and do these are our show notes and then they'll say added redacted or something like that.
Okay.
I think that's what he means.
Yeah, saying dedicant.
I thought
Yeah,
kind
same
of got
here.
the impression that it was Dedicant related because that literally dropped just.
It might be. It might be.
Okay, so like it might be, it might not be. Update 17 is in the works, maybe a teaser next show. Great. We had they gave us a teaser of yesterday's launcher update. They talked about some issues being closed off. And
Yes.
there was also a forum post that went out about that.
Yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, some of those the issues that they posted about, and I know on my graphics card that because things have improved so much, I'm getting very little in the way of bad anti-aliasing now and bad frame rate. So I know they can't just switch them off to say no, they're fixed, because there will always be someone saying it's not working on my
Yeah.
1050 Ti that runs Quake 3 brilliantly. So
Is that what 1050 Ti owners sound like?
Apparently so.
no, sorry, I should say 760. Yes, 760 should be working just fine. Thank you.
So it was the anti-aliasing not working, exiting the game just hangs and you need to force terminate the game, and the low FPS coinciding with low GPU and CPU utilization. It was very much of a thing of like, we know that these are problems, we know that these are still ongoing problems for some people, but we're closing them because it's just all really muddled now. Would that be a fair way to describe it?
I think two of them were too broad. So anti-aliasing as a big kind of general, your anti-aliasing is broken, mate, is too broad. I think they've fixed generally some stuff, and what they're so I sort of agree with. I agree with what they said. Actually, I think anti-aliasing, if there's something specific, report it, but don't just say anti-aliasing is bust generally, because it's not true. And there's a great example of that. There's already a separate issue about the fact that it looks like the night vision effect is applied to the game after anti-aliasing rather than before it, which is why it looks so nasty and jaggy. So that's a
Okay.
specific thing. Night vision and anti-aliasing isn't working. But I think just generally saying anti-aliasing is rubbish. It's not a useful bug report anymore. And ditto on the CPU GPU utilization issue. It's a bit sad to see that close. That was JN Track, some loose screws, baby, and an awful lot of work went into getting really good detailed reports from people on that issue. But it was interesting listening to Loose Screws. I think the conclusion is, although Frontier didn't say this or admit to this, that it may well be a fundamental game engine issue, and therefore isn't going to be closed unless they ditch Cobra or similar. But broadly speaking, it's a sort of broad performance issue, and broadly speaking, performance is okay. The one that intrigued me was the not being able to close the game, because that absolutely happens, and it's a very specific thing. And this is Frontier saying, "Oh, I give up. We can't fix it. Sorry."
I wonder if there were like just so many multiple reasons why that happens, because I haven't had that happen for a really long time.
Oh, I get it quite a lot.
Personally.
Times a week, I'll see that easily.
Yeah, and you have much better performance than me with a considerably lower graphics card. So what's
Interesting, isn't
going
it?
on, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's really strange.
It's weird.
It's a confusing thing, isn't it? So yeah, those issues were closed off. They also confirmed that Frontier lads are going to PitCon. They're also going to ECM. And they had Robin, the lead audio designer, Max graduate gameplay programmer, and that is definitely not right. what you've written there, Curse.
It sounded like the guy's name was Curse, but
Curtis. It was Curtis, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Curtis sounds more likely.
I'm pretty sure it was Curtis.
Okay, he might have said Curtis. I just heard him say Curse, but that could just be Art's voice.
Absolutely wild. I love that. I love that for all of us involved. Fantastic. Curtis, who is one of the designers. They also showed a picture of my favorite comfy designer, Tom, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. And I miss him. And he was the one who wrote the quiz. So it
was a good quiz as well. It was clever. I liked it.
It was a good
thought
quiz.
had gone into that.
I felt instantly affronted that they were taking my update quiz thunder, but we're still going to do the update quiz, so it's not a problem. Anyone else got any comments about Frameshift Live?
The only thing I wanted to ask is, do you have any idea what the heck Sally was on about with the "we're not going to pick"? Maybe are we?
It was the strangest attempt at a joke ever, as far as I
feel
can
like
tell.
she was trying to do a joke, but it was just like, what? Sorry,
I was just imagining, unless the Burrs were pre-warned, I could just imagine the hilarity that must have occurred in the Burr pit when Sally said we're not going to PitCon as a joke. I mean, I can imagine Rick Paul really must have been in tears, but strange joke.
Yeah, the Burrs had announced it as well. It was fully announced by the pit that Frontier were coming, and even in the blurb that Arthur had to read said that we're getting
there as well.
visitors from Frontier too. So whether there was like some kind of communication issue with it, confusing and very strange.
I think Sally was just trying to make a joke and it didn't work. Maybe.
I don't know. It was just very, very
She's usually
strange.
so on the ball with things like that.
Exactly.
Does she at Christmas like go to kids and go, "You're not getting any presents"?
And the kids are like, "Well, I've been told by my parents that I'm already getting this present, so why?" That's the comparison, and I was just like, "That's very, very strange." But it is what it is.
Yeah,
I guess, but it's so there we go. That was Frameshift Live. Didn't get an awful lot of news, and by awful lot of news, I mean any, really, with the exception of the confirmation of the date and the launcher being updated.
There was one extra thing that
Go on,
managed
then.
to slip in.
What did he
They sort of
slip
said
in?
that there was the talk about update 16 and update 17, but he did mention for the first time, right, we are thinking of doing an interim release about halfway through with a whole lot of bug fixes and quality of life fixes, just to keep Alec happy.
Yeah.
It was funny last time, didn't they? They did two like midway through updates last time. I wonder if they're if there's like something a little bit more substantial that they want to whack in, maybe because the Galnet is and the story isn't really progressing that much at the moment.
I'm
Because what I
sorry, I've
found a bit odd
yeah,
about that,
yeah. Go on
because
then,
you
Mark.
said this last week, Colin. I think we were talking about update 16, and I was saying I'd like to see some bug fixes, and you said it might come in a sort of point update, and that struck me as odd at the time because you do a point update if you missed something in the
Yeah.
main update. Like if you've got your bug fixes, you wouldn't save them for a point update. You'd roll them out. A point update is for when, oh shit, that didn't go right. We need to do another one. So it sort
No,
of seems odd to suggest that they're going to have an interim update after. It seems odd to suggest they're going to have a 16.1.
Maybe that is kind of like Arth's way of saying this isn't the one big bit of story you're getting in, or like the big bit of story, or you're not just getting this, like you're not just getting this one ship and whatever else is coming, all of that, and then you're gonna have to wait another 3 months until the next big update. Maybe that's Arthur saying you're getting this, and then there's going to be a cheeky lore drop update about sort of midway through.
Yeah, maybe. Because you don't plan to have a point update.
No.
You mean round about, say, Halloween, you mean?
Maybe Halloween, yeah, possibly Halloween. Who knows? Let's throw a date in the air. Let's call it somewhere in October.
Yes,
his name
Halloween.
Is
oh, hang on, Halloween season, wasn't it?
Yeah,
His
name is the Witch. The material writes itself. Okay, then we will in which case move on. We had the important information regarding the new gimbaled AX multi-cannon CG reward. It didn't have the stuff that they told us it was going to have.
Is it better or worse than what we were told?
Unsure.
Okay.
Hang on a second. From a lore perspective, Azimuth not giving what they said they would get.
Yeah, 100%. Azimuth lied, and I'm very happy about that. But that's quite funny, and I wish there was a Galnet article that could justify that somewhere along the lines. Please, Frontier, I'm begging you, write a Galnet article where people are pissed off that Azimuth haven't given them the thing that they want. That would be absolutely beautiful. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know whether it's better. I haven't tried either of these. I haven't tried. I would say either. I haven't tried the weapons, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. There were reports going, "Oh, it's interesting." That I saw. I don't know what that means.
Don't know. I was buckyball racing in it, so I didn't do none of that CG.
Put it this way: when you say somebody is interesting, you're not paying them a compliment, are you?
Helmut Grokenberger in chat is saying being able to sustain the DPS makes them a little bit better than the enhanced AXMCs. So, like marginally negligible, very small increase amount by the sounds of things. It's more the autoloader than the damage buff. So there's that. We also had a new launcher that appeared yesterday, which we were warned about, but it did appear yesterday. I quite like it. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, obviously, there's still an issue with one of them. It works fine with the Epic launcher and the Steam launcher, but at the moment, when you have the standalone launcher, it's not displaying any of the update news.
Oh, is this the thing where if you scroll down the right-hand side, there's nothing under the big picture?
There, yeah.
What's supposed to be there?
News.
Oh, right, okay.
Whoa. You can scroll down on that side?
There's a thing that says scroll down, but there's nothing, it doesn't do any scrolling. But so on Steam, you're actually getting the stuff. It's just Frontier's own thing that's buggered.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. God. Frontier!
I'll tell you something else that's missing from it.
Go on.
Have you spotted it?
The manual.
Oh, Psychic's got there.
Well, I've seen you moaning about it, Alec. I'm not blind.
The link to the manual's gone. What does that mean? What are they saying?
They haven't updated that for a good amount of time.
Hey, it's a living manual. They promised it would live and grow with the game.
The wiki does better. Go on YouTube.
When was the last time it was updated?
2016, I think.
Yeah.
Probably before then. I don't know. I've never looked at it, so I wouldn't be able to confirm you.
Actually, I opened up my.
You go, Colin.
Yeah, I opened up my Kickstarter pack the other day because I forgot that I had it, and I was looking through all the stuff, Michael Brooks' book and the actual packaging, and I didn't realize this. I turned the actual case upside down, and out slides a manual. I have never seen that manual before.
Is this in our special edition case?
Yes, the special edition case. When you open.
I bet you could sell that to a proper nerd for loads of money.
Oh, here we go. Got it.
Yeah, nerds.
Page 30.
What got
this
me
is
was-
a living manual, change log. So the most recent update to the living manual was the 6th of October 2017.
Oh, 2017.
Ooh,
my bad. I was only a year out. Apparently, there's been quite a lot happening in 6 years, let's be honest.
Just slightly.
Wow.
Does anybody else find the launcher very slow to load up?
No.
Nope.
I didn't, but Apathis has just said in chat, it's slower.
Yeah, I find it very, so I'm going to do it again. So, right, click 1, tiddly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm getting bored now.
That feels like your performance issues, Ben.
Yeah, I'm running at exactly the same time as Ben, and I had exactly the same performance. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Mine was fine.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
you're right.
I mean,
That just needed loads.
it should not take 10 seconds for a launcher to load.
No.
Mine takes 5. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think I even have Steam open on this laptop.
I'm not doing the Steam version. I'm Frontier native.
Here, Chalmers says
Which
2
might be
seconds
the
to
issue.
hers. Okay, there's something wrong with yours and mine, Ben.
Yeah, I wonder if it could be. I wonder if it's because we're trying and failing to download that Odyssey news.
I wondered too. It's a good point. Timeouts.
Oh,
So
is yours both like?
timeout.
Is yours both of you doing the Frontier?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
it might be that.
Okay, maybe it is that then. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe one of you needs to raise a ticket or raise one of those issue trackers that gets tracked and gets done.
I was quite panicked about mine because for the first 10 minutes, whenever I kicked it off, it worked okay in Steam, it worked okay in Epic, but as soon as I went to the native one, I was just getting the black screen and nothing was loading, and I was getting really, really worried. And then, of course, when it finally did come up, all my bindings had gone, and I thought, oh God, no. And even the custom bit has disappeared from the selection of controls. It turns out that it seemed that my ED tracker had malfunctioned quite badly, and that was interfering with it.
You? Yeah. Does anybody else, by the way, find the off orange or whatever the hell color you find to be wrong?
What do you mean?
There's the off orange. You mean
So
the
the
pale
play
skin
button?
tone?
Yeah, it's like a pastel orange.
Yeah.
What,
And
on
it
the
just-
launcher?
Yeah, on the launcher, and that just like
It looks
who
light
thought-
brown to me.
Yeah.
Well, orange and brown. I won't get into that.
Is that what you call puce?
I don't. I just call it wrong. I can
I
understand.
think that your monitors all have different colors showing, which is why you might think that it's different things. But
Well, no, but I mean, like the Peggy 16, that's an orange, and I can accept these buttons being orange because the game's always been orange and black. That's fine. But this pastel orange or whatever the hell, it's just. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't sit right with me.
it's not doing it for you, is it, Ben?
It's not working for me. No.
That's unfortunate. That's really
Orange.
unfortunate.
It's off brand.
It's
Yeah, it is. It's off brand.
it's just a fucking button. Jesus Christ. On that note, I think we'll move on to the community news. Unless actually, I think is if at all possible, I'm going to ask Chris Mock 4 very, very nicely. Could we have a couple of breaks, my lovely?
Have you been affected by Azimuth Biotech's provocation of the Fargoid menace? At Turner and Fig, we're ready to pursue claims against Azimuth Biotech as part of our class action lawsuit.
My son has started worshipping the Thargoid god and keeps bringing home human sacrifices. Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
My daughter was aboard the Bright Sentinel. I keep calling Azimuth to find out where she is, but I always get their voicemail.
Thank you for calling Azimuth Biotech. We're sorry, but
Salvation
is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
I was selling escape pod occupants into slavery, but now Thargoids keep taking the escape pods instead. Am I entitled to compensation?
I suppose so. Thousands, maybe millions of people are due compensation from Azimuth Biotech. Contact us today. Turner and Fig, cleaning out Azimuth Biotech for a huge portion of your compensation.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality, constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become a commander and be free to blaze your own trail? Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us. Be free.
And we're back. Community news. What is the community up to? We have we've got a couple of bits in here. We have an amazing, wonderful that I just managed to catch before we went live. A Freebird video from Commander Reggit.
Cool,
It's so good. It's the music of Freebird, so we are unfortunately unable to play it anywhere, and it's 8 minutes long and it's fantastic. It's got some really cool imagery in it. They've done really well and put together a really beautiful video.
Yeah, I really like how it kind of escalates with the you know, as the guitar solo really gets going towards the end of the track, and it the action that it picks out is kind of nicely in step with it. Yeah, it's good.
For sure. We have Commander Rootsrat, who has found an outpost in an asteroid belt cluster for the first time after 5,000 hours of playing. I haven't watched this, but I imagine it's beautiful.
It's a forum post, but it's cool. Apparently it's not unique. That these things do exist, but you know, Rootsrat's sort of well known if you're sort of around the forums and things, and yeah, so he's been playing forever. And so you know those asteroid belts that we all
an asteroid belt, isn't it?
yeah, you know the things we all turn off in our filters so that we never see them. Those asteroid belts. Yeah, so he found an outpost in one of those. Really cool, but not unique, but pretty unusual.
Yeah, for sure. That's a very good point. The other thing that Rootsrat did, he posted it on Twitter, I believe.
Yes.
He's added truckles and grip tape to his partner skateboard deck, so he can actually use the skateboard in the manner of which it was intended.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, he's out skateboarding.
Good for him.
I'm not sure I'd say cool as opposed to okay. He is obviously as much of a dad as the rest of us.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, not for me. Wouldn't stand a chance. But it's still very cool.
Waiting to see Wotherspoon.
Oh,
I need to see Wotherspoon. Yes. We need to see Wotherspoon doing it.
Yeah. See him catching some flips.
We also have a Star Citizen player, Foxy Loxy X, is making a video series about trying Elite Dangerous for the first time.
This is bloody brilliant. So yeah, thanks to Helmut Grockenberger. I think he's in chat here for
He is.
pointing this out on the forums. But yeah, so it's a guy that's been he's a sort of fairly long-term Star Citizen player, I think. And
Okay.
had kind of heard of a lot of people coming from Elite to Star Citizen, and basically thought, I'm going to go the other way. I'll give
It's
this.
nice seeing someone do the other way, yeah.
I'll give this Elite a go, and it's great. I mean, I thought it was one video, so I sat down to watch the first video, which is just the guy basically installing the game and going through the tutorial, and he's vocalizing. He's talking about what he likes and what he doesn't like as he plays through, but it's nicely edited. He's got some third person video out. He takes his time to get some good third person footage, and he speeds bits up that are boring and skips stuff. So it's actually really nicely put together. He's obviously quite familiar with making game videos, and it it turned out to be the first of a series of 9 videos, each about 15 to 15 minutes long, maybe.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And I got completely hooked, and I watched the entire lot this morning. They're great. I love it. I've subscribed, and they're great.
Helmut is apologising for ruining your productivity this morning.
Yeah. I didn't get any work done at all, but it's great. It's one of those things we've spoken about before, where just the enthusiasm of somebody new, and he's loving it. It's nice. He's obviously a nice guy. He's not salty. He's not pro Star Citizen, anti Elite, or vice versa. It's just they're both games,
Yeah.
and he's loving it. He's loving it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. I must say, I caught up with that this morning as well, just to catch up. And it's always nice when you come across a streamer or a YouTuber that's discovered this game, and they can't believe how good it is after all the negative press that's been about.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of when Colo started, and she had this fantastic sort of innocent enthusiasm for it, and it's great when you find streamers like that who are just discovering, actually, this game, what are you on about? This game's really good.
It kind of justifies you. Like there's moments where I'm just flying somewhere in Elite, or I'm just stood somewhere in Elite, and the light hits just right, and there's stuff going on, and you can see the stars, and you can see all of that. I get emotional thinking about it because I just you pause and you take a moment, and you go, I just fucking love this game so much. Like just it. It and it's wonderful seeing other people experience that as well.
Yeah, there's so much in it that there really is so much when you watch someone learning every single step of the way. It's like, oh wow, there's so much.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with those is when they're making the absolute rookie mistakes, and that if you're trying not to scream at the screen,
yeah, you want to reach into the screen and go.
Right. No, you need a refinery before you even think about going mining.
He even, I won't give too many spoilers, but he even learns the biggest lesson there is to learn in Elite Dangerous.
We had all those tips last week. They might have been really useful for him.
He takes it with absolutely excellent grace.
Amazing. Next on the list is Silencer 555's amazing 3D model of an anaconda, and that I never thought that would come out of my mouth, something like that. It's amazing. He's got lights on it as well. It lights with LEDs. He's posted it on Twitter. It's incredible. Definitely worth going and having a look. Well done. Very well done. I'm very impressed.
It's good. Yeah, I just looked at that just before the show. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. It's so like people are so creative. How very dare everyone be so amazing. Speaking of people being incredible and creative, it is Buckyball this week. It's currently going on.
It's on now. It's happening as we speak. As we speak, Sulu is, I suspect, beating my regulation time.
Yeah, it's a really good race. It's a really, really fun race. I highly recommend giving it a go and not being too not seeing the huge list of instructions and being a little bit bewildered by it.
Yeah, I think people have been put off, but I loved your stream, Psyche. I loved your comment at the end where you you kind of, because you started off and you were going to do a fairly vanilla run and not too
Yeah, I
many
was like,
bonuses.
absolutely. No, it
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
far too complicated. And
And then
then
you built
actually,
more and more bonuses into your run. And
yeah,
then I loved at the end, and you got a time, and then you were adding it up, going 2 minutes off of that, and I get 3 minutes off of that, and 1
yeah.
minute off of that. And then you went, oh, I didn't think I was going to enjoy this, but I'm
Yeah,
really
no,
loving it now.
I genuinely didn't think that I would enjoy this race because there is so much. It's such a big list of potential things that you can and can't do. But if you separate them, or if you can't compartmentalize them, they're all the individual things that you can do are all at the individual bases. So you're not picking and choosing which base you have to do it at or something like that. So that makes it a lot simpler. I don't think there was even a better way that it could have been written out. You know, when I was looking at it thinking, is there an easier way that this could have been presented to be less daunting to people? But I don't know necessarily that there is either. But it's all right, because next month is my month, and we're just going to do Pareco because I don't have time to do anything else.
Yeah, I'm looking through the times. Hang on, Shea Blackwood is in minus. He's gone back in time.
Yeah, because you get so many discounts for or deductions for completing certain tasks. And it's really good. Having a look on the leaderboard at the moment, on the regulation Cobra class, we have who's in the lead there. I'm trying to make it slightly bigger so we can see it. Skur is in the lead, followed by Epaphras, Alec, and then Osric, and then Kevin the Stabber. And then for the unlimited class, it is Shay, then Alec, then Sulu, then Tanis Phage, and Crotalus. Amazing.
Yeah, it's been nicely judged by Reiko, actually. I don't think Reiko, in planning it, actually managed to get a negative score. So he wasn't sure if, so basically, if you can do it, the maximum bonuses that you can get add up to 25 minutes. So if you can do a circuit in less than 25 minutes, then you actually get a negative score. And I think Reiko hoped a negative score would just be possible. I haven't managed to do it. I managed to get 2 minutes something. So the fact that Shay has got, what's he got, 1 minute, minus 1 minute, very nicely judged by Reiko, because clearly if you really go for it, you might just be able to get a negative time.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the Cobra. It's also like with the Seven Sisters, which was another one that we did. I think we did that last year. One of the off-putting things for the Seven Sisters was the fact that the starting station was so far away from the bits where you did all the stuff. But with this one, you can jump straight to Jackson's Lighthouse and then use a neutron jump to get there as well. So there's so many different skills that this one takes into account, which makes it really dynamic and interesting.
Yeah,
and
good.
Credit where it's due. I read it and I thought, I'm not going to fucking bother with this, and then realized I had to. And now I'm looking forward to giving it a go later this week as well. It's good.
Don't be
Give
put
it a
off by the
shot.
wall of text. It is
Yeah.
fun. Just
Yeah, sort of like re-break it up with what you're doing, with what you're planning to do, and you'll find that you can complete a lot of the tasks that are there. Very, very good. Please consider doing it. If you do have any community events taking place soon and would like to shout about it, would like us to shout about it across the airwaves, please tweet us at Lave Radio or email info@laveradio.com, or better still, let us know in our Discord too. That's a really good place to let us know of stuff that's going on, and we'd love to share it. In this section, let's move on to the in-game events then and talk about what's happened this week. We had this whole week, we had 2 pieces of news on the same day. We had Azimuth released the new AX weapon, which we've talked about a little bit as well. That came out sort of around the normal time of a CG, of a Galnet would be, and then we sat around waiting for a CG for a little bit of time. So Azimuth confirmed that they released the AX weapon. Congratulations, well done, great for you. And then at 4 o'clock, just when Frameshift Live started, we got another ping to Galnet with the hunt for the dedicant.
Yes.
Which have you? I know, Ben, you absolutely won't have done yet because of your gammy arm, but have the rest of you done this? Followed this route?
Yep, completed it.
It's good, isn't it? It's a neat little puzzle.
It's a nice little puzzle. I did spend a good sort of hour working my way through it and getting the notepad out and thinking, okay, so that I know what cipher that's going to be. I know what cipher's that going to be. And I think the only trouble I had was right at the very end was trying to find the final point. Spoiler alert. Just to find out, it was right in front of me all along in all the messages.
I saw that. I saw that one really quickly because of the LP and the PL on the last message not being a typo.
Yeah, and of course they did decide to muck it up a little bit because they swapped a couple of digits around and things just to mess with your head.
No, they haven't
I thought
swapped
they
anything.
did.
Nope. So I would have liked them to have put a 0 in at one point to denote like an A without going into much spoilers. There's like a group of numbers together which are all the same number, which took me a very long time to sort out. But aside from that, everything else was pretty straightforward. The only thing that was mixed up was right at the end there were 2 letters backwards, but that's a clue to the other thing. Ben.
I'm just wondering if we get anything in game for doing it, or is it just a fun little?
You get 1 million credits, a whole million, a whole million credits, and the last note says, "Don't share this information with anybody."
What information?
Exactly.
I'm guessing we didn't find the dedicant. I haven't done this.
No, we didn't. But I reckon it might surface. I don't know. Maybe next Monday. Just a hunch.
Just a hunch, is it?
Just a small hunch that it might surface maybe next Monday. If it doesn't surface maybe next Monday, I say maybe some midpoint between 2 updates.
Do you think there's any possibility that only the people who did the treasure hunt will get some inbox thing saying?
Oh, that'd be good because I'd be one of them.
Potentially.
Okay.
It might be because they've not shied away from doing that before.
Yeah.
No.
Dodo. So. Yeah, they have done that before with like some salvation stuff. So it wouldn't necessarily surprise me.
Right. Maybe I better go and do it then.
It is fun. It's a neat little puzzle because it doesn't. It's easy enough for you to figure out what the codes are, and if you use a bit of Googling, you can work it out.
I strongly suspect there'll be full instructions on the forums and already
probably
like that now as well.
Probably, but you don't need to use them, and that's the important bit. You can do it on your own, and I love that for us.
Yeah, I mean there is the Canon decryptor that's available from the Canon website, so that handles most of the ciphers they've already discovered. Which, if you want to be quick and dirty about it, I mean, I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't come across the ship in the end. Spoiler alert. But
no, you didn't. Like, spoiler alert, you get 1 million credits. We've already covered that.
But one thing I was glad that I did it because while flying about, not only did I make more money doing the stellar cartographics, I also discovered 2 planets that I hadn't before with 9 biologicals on each. So I spent the next 2 days just scanning them, and thanks to that trip, I'm now 50 million up. So thank you very much.
There we go. Don't spend it all at once. Yeah, that's the hunt for the dedicant. It's a neat little puzzle. Highly recommend not looking at any clues and just going and doing it and seeing how you get on. Don't come crying to me when you don't get it right. In which case, it's that time of the week again.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter.
Okay, welcome back. We have do we have any new skins in the store? Because we have Twitch drops. Is
There are.
what we're talking about? Are there the new skins in the store as well? Are these solar beam skins?
Yeah, the ones very at the bottom.
The blue ones. They're
The blue
quite
ones,
nice,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yes. Very
Oh
nice.
yeah,
if
no,
you
the
want
Twitch
spicy
drop
pajamas.
ones. The Twitch drop ones on Frameshift Live were pink, and I really liked them. But these blue ones are really pretty too. I like them. I like them. We've also got Twitch drops as partners. Any Elite Dangerous partner, including ourselves. We've got the 3 Twitch drops that the red solar flare ones are on are available, and then also for any streamer who has drops activated on playing Elite Dangerous, you can also watch for 30 minutes and get the Chieftain skin as well.
Right.
Yeah.
We will have to think of a quiz or something, or to give our codes away, I guess.
Have we got some codes to give away?
Don't we? Oh, okay. Ignore
No,
that.
we've got drops.
Oh, I see.
We have drops and codes.
Okay, amazing. So we'll probably have some. We'll probably have something that will go out. Let's call it Twitter and Discord.
We can't call it Twitter now. It's X.
Mate, it will be a cold fucking day in hell when I call that place X. You'll note that I've not referred to the cesspool that is X as anything other than Twitter tonight.
I have noticed. But it just lends itself to so many memes. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, no, absolutely not. We're not addressing that right now.
No, we're not.
Not at all. We are.
No,
At least
not
it's
unless...
at least it's a letter you can actually say rather than some weird fucking symbol.
Jesus Christ.
No, you don't want me going off on a serious rant, because basically you would. You would just lose people left, right, and centre.
Yeah, me and Colin would certainly be agreeing on this. I think then in that case, we will take another quick advert break, and when we come back, we'll come back with our main discussion. I wonder what we'll talk about.
Hey kids, it's Azimuth Biotech. And we're here to tell you some sad news. Our knuckleheads down at the Starshine Imaginarium were a bit too true to life when they made the new Hunter class of Tickle Me Thargoid. And on the advice of our lawyers, Azimuth Biotech is asking for all of you to return your Tickle Me Thargoid Glaves to your nearest toy store to receive a full refund. We would also like to offer our heartfelt condolences to the Jones family in HIP 71682 and invite them on an all-expenses-paid trip to Hind Mine in T-Tari so that our top scientists can do everything they can to save little Astrid's sight. Keep your eyes peeled for a Titanic surprise coming to a toy store near you soon. This has been a message from Azimuth Biotech. Remember, you owe us.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman.
Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
I always forget how long that disclaimer was right at the end, and I was like, I'm never going to remember when to come in, and I almost came in a little bit too early then, which I'm sure is fine and happens to a lot of people, and I shouldn't worry about it too much. Right, let's talk about what we're expecting to happen in Update 16.
Wow, that was a good show. Night, folks.
No, we can certainly talk. We also asked our on Twitter the question of the week as well, so we can certainly move on to that. That
I've
too.
got things to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. So I did say this last week. I genuinely am looking forward to an explanation for the existence of the sides and what they do. Because it's all very cute that they have collect Olympics, but there has to be a reason why we need to care that they're collecting stuff. I mean, beyond a bit of atmosphere. So I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to know what that is. And so the other thing I wanted to say, you poo-pooed this last week, Psychic, but I'm becoming more convinced. I think we might get to be walking around the Dedicant. I mean,
I'd love that, mate. I would.
the pieces are falling into place. So we've had the Galnet talking about the corridors.
Yeah.
The Dedicant has disappeared. We've had the treasure hunt. You yourself 5 minutes ago said the Dedicant is going to come back on Monday. Man, I mean,
I'd love it. I would love it. I would love it so much to be the case. Genuinely would love it to be the case.
And it's not much. We can already walk. We can already, disembark on a mega ship. We can already walk around corridors. All it is, and I'm doing air quotes, although nobody can see it. All it is is reskinning those corridors to make them look a bit spooky and put a secret door somewhere. There you go. Job done.
Yeah. No, I did poo-poo it. I did poo-poo it because I don't want to be too hopeful that that's genuinely going to be the case, because I would die. I would be so excited.
But you're not that good at it.
What do you mean?
Well, you die.
Metaphorically. I would probably, if this like Thargo is lurking around corners and shit, I would poop my pants. It's I really, 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 really hope. I would love that to be the case, Alec. I really, really would. I feel like it would be. I feel like it would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose seriously. I mean, I'm a little bit facetious, but seriously, I suppose the only issue in my mind still is kind of what is the gameplay like? It'd be quite nice to be fighting something down the corridor. Could they do that? I suppose that's not a hard step, is it? We've got NPCs; they just need to be inside the mega ship. So
let's consider the easiest way that they could do something along those lines is use a fleet carrier interior and mess about with it a little tiny bit.
Carrier interior, dress it up, stick some NPCs in it,
work some caustic shit all over it.
Let us draw our guns.
Yeah, put some bodies, just chuck some bodies around,
and have a prize behind.
And then maybe have like some revenants, but in close quarters combat rather than
mega ship corridors. Jesus, that would be terrifying.
That would be terrifying. Like that beam of light coming at you, and that's like with minimum effort. Could they do that? Yeah, sure, they absolutely could. Would I maybe be a little bit disappointed with that there wasn't a more showy piece? And is that only going to be on one ship? Is that only going to be on the Dedicant? If that's like one set piece, why can we not see it in a lot of different places?
What are the current Steam figures? 5,000 active commanders, one ship. It's
yeah, exactly.
Be busy in those corridors.
For sure. For sure. Colin.
Oh no, Ben wants to respond to this.
Oh, go for it then, Ben.
I'm just wondering, would a mega ship's interiors be too small a gameplay area? I'm wondering.
Not really.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
But like whack two together, back two on each other, effectively, like double the space.
Yeah, I mean, if we duplicated them, that could work for me.
Or even triple the space,
I just think running around a fleet carrier would be. It doesn't take very long to run around a fleet carrier, basically.
True.
But yeah, you could shove 2 or 3 together, and that would work.
It doesn't take a huge amount of time to run around a settlement either.
Oh, I don't know. Some of them.
I was going to say, but I've never done. I bet someone's done the maths, but presumably the area that we get to walk around inside a fleet carrier must
Absolutely
be
tiny.
tiny compared to the size of the fleet carrier.
Oh yeah,
Really
it's that little
minuscule.
bit. There's a little bit that sticks out.
Well, you see, this is the thing about secret doors, isn't it? Because you can go to the bridge of the fleet carrier, and then look at this, a secret door, and then there's a brand new map or a new deck, and things like that, where it's all gone horribly wrong, a la System Shock, and there's bits of bodies everywhere, and
Does seem doable.
lots of tendrils, and I just get the real impression of the Marines from Aliens walking into the nest for the first time.
Wind that back. Keep the Peggy rating down. Keep it down.
I would be astonished. You know what?
The assets without reusing the map, and how hard that would be.
I would be astonished if this came on Monday. I feel like Arthur would have been more excited if this was what was coming on Monday.
Arthur is excited though. He's so excited he's not telling us anything.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like there'd be, if we were getting, I'm like putting on that.
Yeah, you'd think
that hat again.
Drop them they try and build up a little bit more hype than what they have done.
Yeah.
If they had that.
I mean, they're doing they've done drops. They've got drops for it, so that's like with the intention of drawing an audience as well. There's that going on. I'd love it. I would love it. I just don't see it happening. And that upsets me.
I know, this is the one thing that happens every time we go, wouldn't it be great if?
Well,
and
it's
it would be
lower
that difficult.
expectations. Who's got something really naff that they want for update 16? Let's get back.
Well, I guess I go first for that then.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's perfect segue talking about naff things. I'm so joking.
Naff. Yeah, because what I was wanting was a kind of reworking of some of the Thargoid war mechanics. Because at the moment we are winning. We are winning, and it doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
to me, it doesn't feel like downgrade tissue sampling, make the Orthrus scenario more available in the alerts. It's brilliant, so that people will not be able to block the alert systems as well as they have been.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, AXI, you've done a fantastic job, but I think you've done it too well.
Yeah.
Because now there's no invasions.
Mm-hmm.
And I want some invasion systems, because the invasion systems were fun, and the invasion systems also led to those missions in the occupied space.
But the thing is, they've got themselves in between a little bit of a rock and a hard place at the moment, haven't they? Because if it's seen to, if they ramp up with no like actual reason, without any actual reason, that we are curb stomping the Thargoids at the moment. If the response from the Thargoids is so high that we no longer, or the dials are moved so far that there appears to be no longer any hope, and we're back to floundering again, that will put a lot of people off.
Yeah,
and then it's going to be
know,
incredibly the other way again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is a delicate balancing act. I think at the moment, though, that it's gone too far the other way.
I 100% agree with you on that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the glaive, which it's still driving me up the wall. With the exception of the glaive, I think they really need to sort of make the Thargoids a little bit more. I don't think they should be the full-on push that there was right at the very beginning. That was a good shock and awe moment. But I think maybe something with the scythe involving the new scythe is going to affect the balance again, giving the power back to the Thargoids, and the Thargoids start expanding again. Hopefully not at the same rate, but there's gameplay options which are being cut off because our players are too good. And I want those gameplay options back open again. And also, I would like assaults on the Revenants bases, not just the sneak around ones.
Yeah.
I'd love to go in with the fire team and
For
just
sure.
clear the base
Do your
before
part.
before the scouts come in. So
Can
I hit
anyone
and fade.
Can anyone remember the number of revenants that have been killed that they revealed in the quiz? It was huge. I was.
It was like it was
astonished.
in the 100. It was in like the 300,000s, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. Wasn't it? It's like yeah.
326,000, I want to say.
And I still can't find a bloody mission to do it. This is just not fair.
They've all been killed by the players. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Kremen is saying in chat 281,000.
Amazing. That's a surprise, isn't it?
Well, they're on multiple in bases, and I've killed a fair few. When they die, a scout comes along and spaffs more out.
Yeah, but you sort of don't. Maybe you do. Maybe the way I play it, and the way I've seen a lot of people play. You kind of don't really shoot them at all. I mean,
It's not my intention. It's not how you start, for sure.
Yeah, shooting them's fun, but I've probably killed about 5. In passing, like while I'm doing the mission and sneaking in through a door, it's like, oh, can I shoot these? Oh, I can. That was fun. But the thought that 280, there's some serious wholesale slaughter going on.
All I can say is that poor Thargoid Queen must be pumping them out like crazy. She must be knackered.
Yeah.
More
Think about
queens.
how
That's
our
a
husband
secret.
feels.
I don't think he gets a choice in the matter at this point. Yeah, I want to keep my expectations really low this time, because normally I'm super hyped and super jazzed. We know we're getting the Thargoid with the new hunter class with the worst name ever secret. Sorry, worst kept secret of a name ever. Is coming into. Absolutely not. Couldn't possibly. And we know that it's got little. It's got little collector things, and I'd love to know what that purpose is. Hopefully, we'll be able to do some research. Absolutely, go for it.
I think we're gonna get Thargoid human hybrid ships. These things are basically scavving us up and scavving up all our stuff because we have been kicking their asses, and they're trying to research us as much as we've been trying to research them. And
so they're not just eating the escape pods anymore. They're actually gonna do research on
they're
us.
eating escape pods, but what else are they looking at? And I just love the idea of the Thargoids being the ones who are making the Thargoid human hybrid ships.
You mean sort of Thargoid ships made out of humans? Because it is all biological. So it's very, very expansive, that is, isn't it?
Ships made out of humans.
This has gone dark. I think that might exceed the Peggy rating.
No, we've got the Chris Mark IV is an interesting selection because they're using them for decoration as revenge for the Carapace backs.
I mean, that's fair. If we can,
fair.
if we get a ship kit that's just people, that's going to be gross.
Oh, welcome to the Reavers.
Incredible. Can't wait for that. That's not gross or anything. Yeah, oh man. I am looking forward to it with great trepidation.
Maybe
I hope
I
we
thought
get something fun.
maybe
like
maybe what will happen with the scythes is it'll be scythes versus typically, I guess, human mining ships. In a massive game of Hungry Hippos.
Oh my god, that right there is the combat Thargoid content we've all been waiting for.
Oh, hell yeah.
Got in.
Yeah, but just to settle something with the loose screws, is the scythe a mythical weapon or a polearm?
I'm not getting into that. That sounds like nonsense nerdery.
Somewhere on the other side of the Atlantic, someone just got triggered.
Someone's just exploded. Mind you, after what he said about my voice in the Discord, he deserves it.
The scythe is a real tool that we were using a few hundred years ago.
Very true, but it also uses the mythical weapon of death.
Yeah, but that was a bunch of Swedes who went off and made a film.
And Terry Pratchett.
Paul.
Yeah, but they did that after the film.
So we asked you, our audience as well. It was a question of the week, what your predictions for Update 16 were. And yeah, I figured we could talk about those as well before we go off on a huge tangent. We have Commander Caitiff who said that they would like to see some non-combat / Thargoid updates. Like an advanced exobiology scanner that can hold multiple plant samples. They would also like to see a ship launch fighter or flyer, at least, that can land. Something that they can use for landing in tough areas for exobiology.
Basically, you land your fighter and get out, just like
Yeah.
you land your SRV. Or drive your SRV.
I wish we could do that. I wish we could do ship fighter SRV. I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah, I would love to be able to land as SLF.
What you mean, have an SRV in a fighter so you can land in the fighter?
I'm not sure.
Oh, got you.
Would it?
Your fighters,
Yeah.
fighter compared to an SLF.
Compare it to a Sidewinder.
SLV.
They're comparable to Sidewinders. I reckon we could fit one in.
Wow.
Are they really that
they're
big?
tiny. No, they're not. They're not that big at all. They're
I reckon
tiny.
we could easily fit one in.
You could probably sling one underneath, but not on the F-53 or the.
But we're talking about having a ship launch fighter that can land. So we're talking about a new one.
Oh, I'm just talking about shove a couple of landing skids onto the current things.
Nah, I want a new one that you can land.
I wouldn't say no to a new one as well.
Yeah, I don't need to deploy an SRV.
Tiny
for
little
one,
landing gear
to land
like
one.
the X-wing has.
I mean, I must admit, I do like the idea of flying around a planet with your mothership not far above you, and you've got that sense of speed, and then all of a sudden you spot your plants or your or even better, your bacterium that you can't see from anywhere else.
Yeah.
And be able to land by it, get out and scan it.
And it's a genuine problem. You get people exploring in anacondas, and then they go and do exobiology, and they can't land anywhere near the damn plant they've seen because they're in a massive ship, and the ground is bumpy.
Yes,
Yeah.
they land and then they've got to walk the entire length of the ship
Yeah.
to get to.
Yeah, I'd love to have a ship launch fighter that can land. That would be great. I'd love to have a ship launch fighter that can land and then spaff out an SLV. Also, would be fun. I'd really like the Thunderbird 2 moment. If we ever get to the distant water worlds, that might happen. I'd love to have a Thunderbird 2 moment. I think that'd be great. That ain't coming in update 16. I can tell you that for free. We have Commander Rotten, who has said something new or quality of life for exploration, a sampling tool that lets you sample multiple plants at the same time. I always find the plants that I don't need, and then I have to remember where I saw them and follow my own tracks backwards. More focused on non-combat gameplay in general, which it's kind of similar to what Commander Caitiff was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, the exploration mechanics at the moment, like we were discussing this last week, it does feel very placeholdery, especially the heat map on the planet. I'd love that to get a once over. But yes, something to help with finding the plants apart from Eyeball Mark 1 would be nice.
So that was echoed by Commander Caitiff again, who added that they totally agree, like a specialization slot for the Artemis suit that allows an advanced scanner or something. Also, a ship launch fighter with landing gear, which they just said, imagine skimming across the surface, landing almost anywhere while the mothership lingers above. And Orange Phoenix added on top of this, I was discussing this idea on my stream recently and thought perhaps a form of engineering involving the creation of storage for 3 separate biotypes at once, or extra storage canisters that could be switched out on the fly. I don't do a lot read any exobio stuff. But even I understand the frustration between finding multiple plants all together and then going, well, I can only scan one of these. This Dyson tool is friggin' useless.
And whichever one you pick, so the classic scenario is that you land and there's 3 different plants nearby. And you think, I'll start with the bacteria. So you scan that one, then off you go. And then
Rookie mistake.
you see loads of the other two everywhere. But can you find one more bacteria? No. And you keep thinking, I should abandon this and go with one of the other plants.
You never start with bacteria. You start with the tussock or the anything's green and grassy, because they're the most abundant. And then you do that. Then you do the bacteria is second to last, and the osus is the last one, because that's the one that I always find the rarest.
Brilliant. Thank you, Monty Dunn.
Just call me David Bellamy. Whoa, with tweets.
We have Freya Crescent, who has said hints of a new sinister player in the war, the Guardian AI, directed by our dear old disembodied friend, Salvation.
Yes, please. That would be good.
I think it's too early. I think
that's
it's
October.
too early.
That's that mid-October patch for the Witch.
No, I think that we're talking another year or so before that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Thargoid War needs a little bit more, and then just when you think things are settling down, then hit them with the Guardian stuff.
We've only got 2 alien species, so if they're gonna, I think
they've got to eke it out. They've got to eke it out, haven't they?
Next year. And then game can be dead in 2025.
Oh, 26, because everything will be delayed by about 6 months. You've got to remember that. So it's going to be at least 26, probably pushing 27 at this point. We have.
And then Star Citizen's going to be finished, won't it?
Oh, no, that's another 3 years after that. And we have Commander Greybeard Seawolf, who says, but by then, Starfield will be on its 8th release. Commander Greybeard Seawolf, who says the ability to explore deep under the Guardian structures, open the bunker doors and explore on foot the subterranean tunnels with a decryption tool to decode the glyphs while dealing with ancient AI defense systems, new Guardian tech and blueprints to discover. I love that whole sentence, but I don't. It's probably coming like in 3 years' time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was onto something last time when I was going around the. I thought, yeah, because you know some of those bunkers, you can look through them. Man. You can look through them and you can see the mechanism above.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot work out how to trigger that mechanism. You've got no interaction whatsoever, but you can see through a crack in the door. You can see there's a chamber behind it, and you just get so frustrated going, why? Just let us in.
Yeah. Because they're so doors. They're absolutely doors, and I need them to open, and I need to be able to walk around inside because it looks like so much fun. We have Angus, who would like to see Thargoid infantry and exobiology given some player agency, but they expect to see less than that.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. People are talking less about Thargoid infantry these days, aren't they? Maybe, okay.
Or maybe we're going to find that it'll be the human hybrids that we come across first.
Well,
that's what they're stealing us all for.
I feel like the fact that people are talking less about like more things that are happening within the Thargoid specifically is because it feels like we have a handle on it. Do you know what I mean? Because we have a handle on it, they feel there's no agency, with the exception of those people who are grinding away and doing everything that they need to do in the Thargoid War. So the threat needs to feel higher for us to become invested in it again, I guess. Like us casuals who are quite happy buckyball racing or relearning our BGS and not really. We've dipped into the Titans a few times and it's fun and everything. Do we need something more tangible and more like fear of loss? Maybe.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're right.
We have Rangers GSTQ with the introduction of Thargoid bases, so we can take the attack to them. That and an Adamark 2.
Oh, God, no. Yes, no. Why do you want double the amount of poo? That's what I gotta say.
Sure.
Thargoid bases. We thought we had Thargoid bases, didn't we? But I suppose it's turned out that they're not really. They're just crash ships.
They just crash.
very
They just
true.
test ships. I think the closest thing that we have to a Thargoid base, or to becoming a Thargoid base at the moment, is currently in HIP 22460. Is that the name of the system?
What the crash ship that we basically
The one that we were all at. When Salvation was like, I'm gonna put all this Guardian shit here and it's all gonna go incredibly well, and then it didn't. That place, is that HIP 22460?
Yeah, that was
It is, but that's
22460.
just another crash Thargoid ship. I mean, it was no different
But-
from any other crash until
whatever
Salvation mentioned it.
is whatever's happening to it right now, is that in the process of
Mm.
Well, as far
converting
as-
it into something?
Well, you see, the thing about that one was that I was expecting when that happened, I expected the Thargoid wave effect to head out towards all the other systems, and so basically all our Guardian weapons would disable the closer you were to HIP 22460, but it just seemed to have just stayed there, and of course the maelstroms came instead. But at the time, I was expecting this sort of wave effect to go over the rest of the galaxy and screw us over. But yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's maybe that's endgame. Maybe that's something when the other thing that it's doing is that's going to be the thing that burns the bubble. Because I'm still there. I'm still holding out hope. That is their kill switch potentially. For the people who were asking in chat about whether it was confirmed that they were crashed ships, there was a couple when they introduced the Revenants, whichever update that was. That the last update?
Yeah.
Okay, with the last update, there were meetings that happened. And it was as part of those meetings that happened, part of the pre-recorded things was confirming that they were crashed Thargoid ships, and then there was a Q&A a little bit after that, and the question was brought up. This is the first time that we've heard these confirmed as crashed ships. Are they crashed ships? And they went yes.
It was pretty obvious in retrospect when you look at it, because there's skeletal remains and all that kind of stuff all around.
For sure. For sure, absolutely, and it was a lot of things that people were questioning, and I feel that it was something that was always speculated as it was, but we definitely got confirmation at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you say that, Colin, but equally, they do look as if they're very organically growing out of the ground. So you can see. I think if we'd been told they were Thargoid bases, I think we'd be equally confident, going, "Yeah, I always thought they were."
Oh, 110%. We'd be like, yeah, no, definitely. That's what we all thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some surprise from Frontier that we didn't actually know, and it was like, well, yeah, why would we? I mean, it's not obvious. I don't think it is obvious.
So moving to Discord now, because I also asked this for those of you who don't want to be on the cesspool that is Twitter and answer your zeets. We also asked this question in Discord and make a little thread for these questions too. And we have Little Big Yin, never heard of him, who says more performance improvements, fix the missions where the crate merges into the surface of a planet so you can't complete the mission. Same for the Massacre on Fut missions where your murderizing doesn't count until you zoom into orbit and back down. I'd love to see something interactive with the Dedicant, he says, the Decedent or whatever it was called. Oh, and the ability to buy engineering mats, on Fut ones.
Not much there then.
Not much there, but absolutely
All valid points,
things that
but
piss me off on a regular basis.
I think someone just wants a quiet life, doesn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's gone off again.
I just want to complete my bloody missions. That's all that says to me.
Yeah, do it for Little Biggin so that he can have some peace and quiet.
Give him a nice quiet afternoon, please. I would very much appreciate that. We have Cheb's Will. excuse me, who would like to see ship interiors, but probably not happening. Predictions: a new ship or three, unlocking one of the permit locked bubbles in the galaxy, new Thargoids, Raxler, and a barmaid in the game that actually sells booze. These are lofty goals. Three new ships, Will. Are you
one's never
okay?
going to happen. Drinks?
More to the point, a barman selling alcohol.
Not a chance. Not a
Cobra
chance.
Mark 5, 6, and 7. There you go.
No, the Animarks 2, 3, and 4.
What about if we
that's
have?
cruel.
What about the drinks at the bar being like innocuous names, like not actual drinks? Like the new there's a new Sims pack just come out where you're basically making wine, but they call it nectar. Maybe if we had something like that in
we've got alcohol in games, so why the heck?
I was going to say, we've got drugs.
We've got Lady and
so I'm
Brandy
sure they should.
and drugs.
Lady and Brandy.
I think it's the consuming thereof that is the problem.
Etc.
Relatively sure it's the consuming thereof that makes it a problem.
Wow.
Yeah, but even in WoW, you can buy alcohol, and that's 7, is it, or something?
I don't know. I don't know what the.
To be playing. But I don't know what in World of Warcraft you can get games.
What's it called in
get drunk.
World of Warcraft? It's called grog or something. Something that
Yeah, but you can drink that and you can get absolutely shit faced.
We have Commander Indigo who says, imagine if they retooled Crime and Punishment, then use that as a justification to nerf influence in solo. More realistically, Revenant Massacre missions or even ground CZs. That's what you were talking about as well, Colin, wasn't it? Like taking a group of fighters and going and doing I'd love to see like a ground CZ like that. A frontline ground CZ for anti-Xeno.
That's definitely on my list. Definitely on my list, that is.
You know when we saw the Scythe, it was in space, wasn't it?
It was?
Yeah. I was just thinking of a neat ground scenario you could have, a bit like the Defend the MacGuffin scenario.
What the
Scythe comes in? Scythes and...
Yeah, so you could have a thing on the ground. I think it would kind of be cool on ground where you could have... I don't know why there would be a massive pile of occupied escape pods, but you could have a massive pile of occupied escape pods, and then the Scythes come in and start trying to steal them all, and you've got to protect the escape pods.
Well, with their little limpet things, whatever they are.
Yeah, you don't. Limpets aren't good at scooping stuff up from the ground, though. So
no, true.
Doesn't really.
What
work.
happens if the Scythe comes in to the ground settlement and starts stealing people? And you, and including the players.
I'm all for it. They just get in the way.
Yeah, I want to see that.
It'd be like a modern day of Defender.
Yes, I had the Defender thought. Yeah, absolutely.
Wild. Okay, and then we have Chris Mock 4 with Player Agency. Let us vote in the federal election.
Oh, that's not fair. No fool would win it.
Yeah, well, he's not an option. He's not on the ballot. We'll just be writing in fool for somehow. I don't know how that would work. Yeah, that was all our options. I'll probably put another thingy, another question on Twitter, or either Saturday or Sunday when I remember. I don't know what it'll be yet. Or I might do it on Monday after the update goes out because it might just be about the update. And then we'll put it in Discord as well. So join our Discord.
Yeah, fine.
And then you won't have to deal with the petulant billionaire. That would be great. In which case, I think right now, when we're talking about any other business, hi, Alan.
Hello.
Hello, love. Yeah, not too shabby, thank you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm having a retro 80s day. It's gone a bit weird.
Amazing.
Too much Duran going through your brain, is it?
No. I've started to dig out some of my old collections of stuff, and got entirely too into modding and customizing action figures. I need to stop. Someone stop me. I've got a novel deadline by the end of the year. What's going on?
Okay, put the action man down and take 2 steps away.
It's amazing that Warhammer Games Workshop paint and what have you works really well on action figures if you get the right right varnish. It's really good.
Amazing. Awesome. You were here for the very good reason, as you're introducing another track off your amazing album.
Yeah, so we've got this evening we've got the Revolution. So this is the track that basically is when everyone gets in their ships, gets out there and frees Lave from the terrible dictator that is Dr. Hans Walden. So it covers the scenes where everybody, basically pulls it all together and there's a big space opera battle. But yeah, so that's kind of good. It's it's kind of toe tappy and about 4 or 5 minutes long. So not gonna impinge too much on Galnet news. All sounds good, doesn't it?
Amazing, wonderful. I can't wait to listen to it. And as a reminder, when does the next stuff come out? Not that I'm jumping at the bit or anything.
No, not at all. So we've got the album. The album drops on the 28th, so the end of this week. So
Amazing.
That's the Lave Revolution remastered on Apple Music, iTunes, and Amazon. And you can already go and repeatedly listen to Evasion on Amazon if you want to. Which every play helps. Let's just put it out there. Every play helps the algorithm, feeds the hungry shuffle.
It feeds Skynet, doesn't it?
It feeds something. I don't know. I just press play and listen to it again. Clearly I'm probably my own biggest fan. That's that's slightly embarrassing, isn't it? Really. But yeah, so that all drops on the 28th, and then in August we then have the new album coming out via the same means. So what's really good is if folks who like the tracks from the Lave Revolution album, if they've managed to find the web page with the nice collection of stuff, or they found the Apple Music page and what have you, and found the stuff, it means that when the new stuff drops, then obviously they'll see it straight away and can sample and take a listen. Some of the music, the new music, I've been sat on for a year. Even to you guys haven't heard any of it, so it's kind of it's kind of been sat there, and I think I've got like 3 people who've heard the tracks, which is the people who are publishing them, and maybe one other person. So it'll be really, really good.
That's wonderful.
Were you talking about new stuff or stuff you'd like to see improved?
Yes.
Bit of both.
Well, there's the crime and punishment thing came up, obviously, didn't it? Again, and we did go over that a lot in the old days with the conversation about the orange sidewinder, i.e., the Asbo sidewinder. Why not come back to that?
There's so much of it of crime and punishment that I genuinely do wholeheartedly believe still needs addressing. I wish it were as simple as just whack them in an Asbo sidewinder.
To be honest, I had a slightly ornate idea back in the day, which was if you're a person who wants to be a criminal, then there should be areas where only you can go in relation to your reputation. And at the same time, if you're a person who doesn't want to be a criminal, then obviously there are areas where the police really like you and you can therefore you can go. But I always think that with these things, that when you've got reputation and rating systems dependent on your behavior in game, then actually there needs to be unlocks in both directions.
100% agree. Yeah.
So even if you don't like that players always PvP or they always this or they always that, if there are unlocks in that direction, then that generally moves those players towards those unlocks. So they'll start to play games and they'll spend their time in game in those areas, Whereas players who don't like that kind of engagement will gradually shift towards other areas. And if you make it so that the unlocks only occur when you perform certain activities, then it immediately starts to sort of clean up your player base naturally.
Yeah, they had. It's funny that they've got some pirate bases in the game. So you go to some outposts,
Yeah.
and they've got a skull and crossbones and a holo projector just above the top. And you sort of think you've got that feeling that they something they wanted to put in, but they never got round to.
And Grant in a hat, right?
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. That's all it is. That's
you
all
know,
you
he's-
need, really. That's enough to turn any law-abiding citizen away.
He's sat there at every pirate base, right? At the desk.
Yeah, every
talks
pirate
about his
base with a
bathroom.
broken toilet. Yeah, broken toilet in
Yeah.
every base. Now we know why pirates are revolting. No toilets.
That's all he does.
Pretty much. That's it. I do think we do need to move on and look towards growing this show. Getting so that we can hear Alan's amazing music. So we'll hit up at any other business. The Elder Scrolls is online. Sorry, the Elder Scrolls Online is free on the Epic Store, which ends on the 27th. So if you fancy the Elder Scrolls, it's free on the Epic Store. Homeworld Remastered is going to be the next one on the Epic Store. Ben,
Awesome game.
Star Trek.
Yeah, so I kind of gushed when I watched the Star Trek Lower Decks and I saw the intro and I was like, hold on, that's been redone. And then I just went off and I had to basically mostly for myself, do a video just seeing the differences between what the Lower Decks guys did with Strange New Worlds and what Strange New Worlds normally does. And
so have they done like a crossover titles as well? Oh, that's awesome.
The Lower Decks guys did the titles for this week's Strange New Worlds. And
okay.
They've nailed it. I mean,
awesome.
And amazingly enough, even though I released it yesterday and nobody subscribes to me, and I've had almost 424 people have seen it at random, basically, which is like, okay,
you've tagged it right then, basically, Ben. That's what that means. The algorithm have worked for you in this instance. Woohoo! You solved it, mate.
I just had to say Star Trek probably, and that's going to get somebody in it.
Was this you on YouTube?
Yeah, that was me on YouTube.
I see. No, I had a similar incident with different because Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out, so I happened to mention on one of the the influencers saying, hey, this is what to expect. I put a comment down there saying, yeah, I wrote some of it, and immediately just got crap. No, I got. It was just some people were nice, other people were just like, yeah, bro, don't believe you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you always get them, don't you?
Never mind. That's the way it goes.
Also, things that are also on YouTube. Starfield has dropped some animated shorts, which look to be packed full of lore around Starfield. So, something to whet your appetite until Starfield come out. Cool. I haven't watched them yet, but I'm going to. I'm gonna do a self plug. Stretch for this. Episode 2 of War for Adventure is gonna be live on Sunday at 3. I'm really looking forward to not killing my party. I've had some really lovely comments about the first one that have made me do the teary thing and be all emotions. But yeah, it's on Sunday. You can catch the previous episode over on my YouTube. And I whack loads of shorts up as well. Which is
I'm glad to hear you're hanging your washing out.
I whack all of the shorts up, and then people complain about me putting pronouns on there, and I'm going to continue to put pronouns on there because it's fucking important. Then the only other business is that Ben, you off on your hollybobs?
I'm off on my hollybobs. I was just looking at the calendar and like, okay, I'm not going to be here next week. because it's like the day before I actually fly out. And then the next 2 weeks, I'm actually going to be on my Hollybob. And then the next Tuesday is my brother-in-law's birthday. And I'm due to be going to see somebody about my dodgy wing. So basically, I'm not going to be here for a good month.
We'll see you. We'll see you in like 5 months. I'm so disappointed and upset about this.
I can hear you're gutted, aren't you?
So gutted.
We'll miss you, Ben.
But we can reload.
We will reload.
You'll manage.
We'll somehow manage without you, but I look forward to hearing of your shenanigans when you get back. So we shall move on to the shout outs then. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. UK time. I totally short-circuited then trying to read 24-hour clock. That was wild. I'm never doing that again. You can tune in at twitch.tv/OutorOrbitalTruckers or for just the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout-outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. We have the Guard Frequency, who also do other space games, and our friends over at Loose Screws. Following this, we do have the latest Galnet News Digest as provided by Commander Wotherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. So thanks to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat and the in-game commanders. Chris, who have you ran into?
So we've had Void Flames, William Solo, and Helmut Grockenberger.
Fantastic. Special thanks to Commander Takoso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who created the music used in the show. And that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, you can find contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Colin when you finally made it here.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Ben.
I'm off for some hot milk.
Amazing. Thank you to Alec.
Thank you, Claire. See you all in the corridors of the Dedicant.
And special thanks to today's tech specialist, the Chris Mott 4, who definitely didn't start an hour early.
I definitely didn't start an hour early. Thank you.
And I'm going to pass to Alan to introduce his track.
Okay, so here we are, Lave Revolution, and this is The Revolution. Enjoy.
Galnet News Digest, 25th of July 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, well, there really isn't any new news. So here's a chance to listen again to last week's Galnet update, which is about the missing Dedicant and also about Azimuth's spiffing new anti-Xeno weapon.
The missing megaship Dedicant remains intact and apparently under the control of the Far God cult, according to a message incorrectly routed to the Imperial Navy. The message, apparently written by a Federal Marine commander on board the megaship, suggests that the guards and their would-be prisoners are all still alive, but the guards are not in control of the ship and do not know where it is. The message, which was routed through the LP714-58 system, was picked up by the Imperial Navy, which made its content public, saying they had no interest in the matter. The Federal Intelligence Agency has thanked the Imperial Navy and has put out an appeal for pilots to search for clues as to the whereabouts of the Dedicant. The Dedicant was built as a mobile operations centre for the True Chapter sect of the Far God cult. It was seized by the Federation, who declared the cult illegal and imprisoned Far God cult members. Following an alliance offer to take the Far God prisoners from the Federation planned to use the Dedicant to deport its religious prisoners. However, it unexpectedly vanished from Papontia on the 15th or 16th of June as it was preparing to depart for Mullag. There are 8,000 members of the True Chapter of the Cult of the Far God on board and 150 Federal guards. It is believed that the guards were outwitted by the cult members, who used secret passages in the megaship to activate its frameshift drive. The Federation hopes to mount a mission to recapture the Dedicant once its location has been identified. In other news, Salvation's organisation, Azimuth Biotech, has released its latest improvement on the AX multicannon. The pre-engineered, overcharged, gimbaled AX multicannon with autoloader are available at all rescue ships. Those who took part in the initiatives to facilitate the secret meeting between Azimuth and potential backers have received their rewards. The multicannons deliver increased damage, but there is a penalty in increased power draw. The modules do not, as advertised in some quarters, have modified armour-piercing capabilities. It is not yet clear whether Azimuth has benefited from the conference. Is it on the point of going bust if it can't get funding? Or is it looking for a way back into the superpowers good books? It is intriguing that scientists from the Holloway Bioscience Institute in Colonia took part in the conference. Partly staffed by former Aegis scientists, the Holloway Institute has expertise in xenological life forms that could vastly improve Azimuth's competitiveness towards Aegis.
And that's this week's No News Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news, such as it is, so you don't have to.